Breaking overnight, passengers from a coronavirus-stricken cruise ship are now on the ground in Georgia. What will happen to them as officials try to keep them contained?
I still have a wicked cough.
An exclusive interview with a Waffle House worker diagnosed with the virus.
Thousands of kids at home for a second day. Fulton County schools are closed again. Find out when your children can go back to class and what district's doing to keep them safe.
And we're learning this morning more about a man who had half a dozen pipe bombs in his condominium. We're going to get to all of that in just a second. A very busy morning for you on this Wednesday, March 11th. Thanks for joining us. I'm Gervier Dinsa.
I'm Karen Greer. The most important thing this morning is the roads for you and the traffic and the weather. So we're going to get right to Barmel Lyons, who's in for Rodney with another traffic alert.
Yeah, we've had our eyes on this spot, continuing coverage on this crash happening on 285 going southbound just at the I-20 exit ramp. You can start to see two lanes open just as cars make their way. They've been able to clear off that right-hand shoulder of that roadway, but those left-hand lanes still blocked. You can see emergency vehicles taking up that area. A tractor trailer and car involved in a crash that's causing some significant backups and delays on the east side of the perimeter wall. This again happening right here in DeKalb County. You guys, you're going to see speeds in the teens and 30-mile-per-hour range, so expect to see them not just past Glenwood Road, and they keep on extending. Now, from Glenwood Road toward the crash spot, it's going 14 minutes and 6.5 miles, okay? That's 2 times the average. Overall, folks, this is your trip time from Spaghetti Junction to I-20. 46 minutes. An alternative would be the downtown connector. Let's take a look at weather. Hopefully, it's better news because this is ugly.
I do have some better news than that. I'll follow you up, Barmel, talking about some warm weather for today. A little bit of light fog out there this morning. That's the Cobb Cloverleaf. You can see all the traffic beginning to build out that way. Mile and a quarter visibility right now for Atlanta and for Griffin. It's 3/4 of a mile for LaGrange. Just some patchy fog out there this morning. It is not a widespread dense fog that we have. It is relatively warm. You'll notice that as soon as you step outside, it's in the mid and upper 50s in many places. Cherokee County up into Pickens County right now, seeing some showers. Those will move through Dawson and Forsyth County and then into Hall County as well. And about the next half hour to 45 minutes, those showers moving right along through the northern suburbs of Atlanta and continuing off to the east. Nothing showing up to the west. That means we're in decent shape, I think, for midday in this afternoon. Temperatures will climb up into the mid 60s by lunchtime and reach the lower 70s in many spots with a little sunshine breaking through this afternoon. Still about a 20% chance of a shower flaring up later on in the day. The 7-day forecast is coming up for you in just a bit.
All right, thanks so much, Fred. 6:32 right now. Coronavirus cases continue to spread across the United States. There are now 1,000 infections and 30 deaths. There are 6 confirmed cases right here in Georgia, 16 presumptive positive cases. Emory Healthcare admitted its first patient who has tested positive for the coronavirus.
At 6:33, we have breaking news from overnight now. A plane carrying passengers from a tainted cruise ship finally landed in Georgia, where those passengers will be quarantined. CBS 46's Rebecca Schramm is live this morning at Dobbins Air Reserve Base in Marietta. Hey, Rebecca, Georgia's getting many more of those passengers than we first were anticipating.
Yeah, you know, Gervier, earlier this week, the only thing we really knew for sure is that the 34 Georgians on board that cruise ship would be brought here to Dobbins. Well, now we're learning that number is more like 250 when you include the passengers from other eastern United States. So here's what it looked like when the plane landed at about 1 a.m. Carrying passengers from the coronavirus-stricken Grand Princess cruise ship. We're working to find out the timeline for a second and final plane. According to Cobb County officials, most of the 250 passengers will spend their 14-day quarantine period on the base, while some who live nearby possibly will be allowed to self-quarantine at home. Dobbins is capable of housing about 150 people, but there's also the nearby Clay National Guard Center, which has 190 beds. Yesterday afternoon, we saw a lot of activity here at Dobbins as they prepared to screen, monitor, and care for all of those passengers. Remember, none has tested positive for COVID-19, the coronavirus, nor are any of them showing any symptoms. But nobody wants to take any chances, especially when you consider that 21 passengers tested positive for coronavirus, and they were on the same ship as the people who are being brought here to Dobbins. So we will keep you posted as we learn more. We're live in Marietta this morning. Rebecca Schramm, CBS 46 News.
Rebecca, thank you. And now to a CBS 46 exclusive. We speak with a Waffle House worker from Cherokee County who tested positive for the coronavirus. His name is Joey Camp. He says he's taking antibiotics and is now under quarantine at Hard Labor Creek State Park. He says he's not worked at that Waffle House on Marietta Highway in Canton since March 1st, and he was already in the hospital for 3 days due to another illness.
I ended up getting pneumonia, and because I didn't take care of my diabetes, I became immunocompromised, which is what the coronavirus looks for, is immunocompromised individuals.
Camp says he's not sure where he contracted the virus. He will spend the next 14 days in quarantine at Hard Labor State Park, and Waffle House not taking any chances either. Management has shut down that Marietta Highway location for that location to be cleaned, and also asked other employees to self-quarantine.
It's 24 before 7, and Fulton County schools will be closed again today after a teacher there tests positive for the coronavirus. Most of those schools will reopen tomorrow, but Bear Creek Middle School, Woodland Middle School will remain closed until next week. That infected teacher worked at both schools as a substitute. And 3 firefighters who responded to Bear Creek Middle School when that teacher collapsed are now under a 14-day quarantine. Their fire station, Station 15 in the city of South Fulton, is also closed. City officials say 500 protective equipment kits for police and first responders were ordered when this all began.
And Karen, we've got new information this morning about a town hall meeting that was scheduled to take place in DeKalb County tonight on the coronavirus. Well, that meeting was originally scheduled to happen at a community church. Well, it is now a virtual meeting instead. There's going to be a panel of school, health, and county officials on hand to answer your questions on the status of the virus and how it is impacting services in DeKalb County. Now, the virtual town hall meeting is from 7 to 9 o'clock tonight, and you can go to CBS46.com, and there we will link you directly to that live stream. At the CBS 46 Live Desk, I'm Carolyn Ryan.
And CBS 46 will continue to track the impact of the coronavirus. There is a special section dedicated just to the coronavirus outbreak on our free CBS 46 streaming app. Right now you can see what the NCAA is saying about the future of the Final Four, which will be held here in Atlanta.
And now to a crime alert from Gwinnett County. Police need your help in finding this man. They say he broke into an SUV in Duluth and grabbed a handbag. All of it was caught on the driver's personal dash cam. If you know anything about this case, you can clearly see him in this video. Call Crime Stoppers. The number's on your screen right now.
It's 6:38. The man accused of having a half-dozen pipe bombs at a condo building in DeKalb County, he's in jail this morning on unrelated charges. Police say they found one bomb in a courtyard of the Claremont Terrace condominiums earlier this week. Then investigators found at least 5 others in a unit belonging to 48-year-old Daniel Corwell. Neighbors had to evacuate their units for hours while crews removed those devices. Now Corwell is facing multiple charges, including possession and manufacturing of an explosive device. State lawmakers in the House have passed their version of the state's 2021 budget. The $28 billion budget includes a $1,000 pay raise for teachers. The governor proposed $2,000 in raises. Next, the plan moves to the Senate for approval.
And the Georgia State House also passed a proposal to reduce the state's personal income tax to a flat rate of 5.375%. That would be the second reduction to Georgia's tax rate in recent years. Supporters say that plan would save Georgia taxpayers about $250 million a year, but the critics, those who oppose it, say it would mostly benefit wealthy Georgians. The bill now goes on to the state Senate for more debate. 6:39, and Fred is back with a look at the weather for today. And you know what? At least the temperatures are mild.
Yeah. No, a little bit of fog out there this morning, a couple of showers here and there, but for the most part, it's pretty quiet start to the day. This is Hartsfield-Jackson. You can see that very light fog overhead. 1.3 mile visibility right now in Atlanta. Half mile though down in Griffin. So keeping an eye on this for you. You may run into some patchy fog early this morning. Mid and upper 50s from Midtown to south of the city. Hartsfield Jackson's at 58 right now, and it's 50 for Alpharetta. That's one of the cooler spots in the northern suburbs. Most though are between about 53 and 57 degrees. We've had some showers moving through Cherokee County this morning into Canton right now, I-575 area, and getting into the far northern part of Fulton County. In fact, they'll be into Alpharetta most likely in about the next 15 minutes or so, or a little bit less than that, within about 10 to 15 minutes, and then into Gainesville possibly by about 7:20. Brazelton, if they hold together, by about 7:40 this morning.